Keywords are probably one of the most helpful and slightly annoying things to keep track of in a Magic the Gathering game, looking at you slivers. However, we're going to run through the top 20 keywords that you're most likely to find, and we're going to go through what they do so that way you're a little bit more comfortable in your games. Any permanent with hexproof basically means that it cannot be the target of spells or abilities. However, it is still susceptible to field effects, so if you have destroy all creatures, that creature will still be destroyed just because it's not being targeted. Creatures with menace require at least 2 creatures to block it. They cannot be blocked by only 1 creature. Creatures with vigilance do not tap when they are attacking, meaning that they can also block after they've attacked. Any damage that your creature with Death Touch does to an opponent's creature will kill it, with the exception of Indestructible. There is a fun mechanic that you can work around with Death Touch and Trample, however we're going to talk about that in a later video, so make sure to subscribe. Now Trample means that any damage above lethal rolls over to the opponent. The reason why I word it like that is because if you pair that with Death Touch, you only have to deal 1 damage with a Death Toucher and everything else rolls over to the opponent. Now flying is just a little bit more self-explanatory. Basically what that means is a creature with flying can only be blocked by a creature with flying or reach, and reach just means it can block a creature with flying. First strike just means that the creature with first strike deals its damage first and then normal combat damage is resolved. This is also a great way to get around Death Touch, assuming you kill the creature with Death Touch. Much like first strike, a creature with double strike deals both first strike and normal combat damage, however it is only attacking once. Any permanent with Indestructible on it just means that that permanent cannot be destroyed, however it can still be exiled and sacrificed. Any creature with haste is unaffected by summoning sickness. Basically that means you can use the creature and attack on the same turn. Any creature with defender on it just means that that creature cannot attack unless otherwise specified. Typically these creatures do have a much higher defense or they're a little bit harder to get rid of. Scrying is typically found on spells, but it can also be found on creature abilities whenever they enter the battlefield. But what this means is that you can look at the top card of your library, and if you like it, you can put it back on top, or if you don't like it, you can put it back on the bottom of your library. This kind of allows you to stack the deck a little bit in your favor, just in case if you don't want to use what's on top right now. Now, goading is a little bit more specific to Commander, but basically what this means is that if a creature is goaded, the person who goaded the creature cannot be attacked by that creature, and that creature has to attack a different player. So let's say I goad an opponent's Blightsteel Colossus. That Blightsteel Colossus cannot attack me, but it has to attack either of my other opponents. Any spell such as the Opposition Agent with Flash on it just means that this spell can be cast at instant speed, which also means that you should typically cast it at instant speed. Don't cast it on your main phase. You can if you want to, but usually it's a good idea to not cast it at sorcery speed. Prowess is another one of those that I kind of struggle with, like Goad, where basically it is a triggered ability that whenever you cast a non-creature spell, any creature with Prowess gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So say I cast 3 non-creature spells, a creature with Prowess will get +1/+1 3 times for a total of +3/+3. Ninjitsu is a relatively recent keyword from Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, I believe, where basically if you have a unblocked attacking creature and you have a creature with ninjitsu in your hand, you can pay that ninjitsu cost, return the attacking creature to your hand, and replace it with the creature that you just paid the ninjitsu cost for. Now we have Cascade, which is probably my favorite keyword. Basically what this means is whenever you cast a spell with Cascade, you're going to keep in mind the converted mana cost of the card that has Cascade. Then you're going to exile the top card of your library until you reach a spell with a lower mana cost than the converted mana cost of the spell that has Cascade. Then you may cast that spell without paying its mana cost. If you are still a little bit more confused on it, because I do understand that this one's a little bit more confusing, make sure to check out my Sliver video, because that's pretty much like the whole deck. And last but not least, we have Infect, which just means that any damage dealt by this creature is dealt in poison counters, which are also -1/-1 counters. If an opponent gets 10 poison counters, that person loses the game. Now this one is a little bit faster. I didn't cover all the keywords just because there are a ton of keywords. However, hopefully you feel a little bit more comfortable with keywords and are able to use them. But if you are ever in doubt, make sure to just read the card. Reading the card explains the card. But also, if you want a sequel of me going over more keywords, just let me down in the comments below. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and we'll learn something new in the next video.